Young homeless in Guangdong sleep under bridges as social media floods with unemployment complaints. China's economy continues to decline, and the employment and living conditions of young people are alarming. Recently, it was reported online that many large companies in Guangzhou, the capital of Guangdong province, have been unable to pay wages for half a year, and even state-owned enterprises are laying off employees and cutting salaries. Many young vagrants sleep on the roadside and under bridges. There is a wave of crying about unemployment on mainland social media. X account Wu Wang Wudi released multiple videos on December 1st, stating that in the last month of 2024, the eve of the fall of the Communist Party of China, the collapse of China's economy is unimaginable, and the people are suffering. Workers are exhausted and crying. The unemployed sleep on the streets. Young people scavenge for garbage. Iron rice bowl units are laying off employees, and civil servants are facing salary cuts. In addition, companies are running away, shops are closing, hospitals can't pay wages, banks are unable to disperse money, people are protesting on rooftops, teachers are breaking down, students are jumping off buildings, canteens are in chaos, hospitals are full of pneumonia cases, and the streets are plagued with violence. According to the video, a young woman said that the current situation in Guangzhou might be unbelievable to those hearing it. Many large companies and certain groups haven't paid wages for half a year. Many companies, including state-owned enterprises, are laying off employees and cutting wages, and most small companies are on the verge of bankruptcy. Even the once envied internet sector is laying off employees, with thousands of people dismissed at a time. I am one of them. Even highly educated talents from 985 and 211 universities cannot escape the fate of unemployment, let alone ordinary people like us, the woman said, frustrated. She noted that her classmates either faced staff reductions or wage cuts, and some even stopped receiving wages altogether, leading to more than half a year of unemployment. Many luxurious office buildings are also empty, with some closed down entirely. Those who moved out have moved out. Many people sit in Starbucks and McDonald's, pretending to work, as the future remains full of uncertainties. A video shows that under a bridge tunnel in Guangdong, many homeless young people are sleeping. There are also young people sleeping on the roadside with quilts. A young woman placed a small basin in front of her, seemingly begging for food. It is heartbreaking to watch. Another video shows that in the central area of Xi'an high-tech development zone in Shanxi province, there are almost no pedestrians on the streets, and nearly all the shops are closed. A woman sighed. This was once the most prosperous street, and almost every shop is now shut down. Iron locks hang on the doors one after another, with no trace of the past glory. It's terrifying. The street shown in another man's video also had most of its shops closed. He commented that opening a physical store this year is too difficult, especially a restaurant. The investment is in the hundreds of thousands or millions, and many plan to earn money to marry off their sons. In the current environment, it's a blessing if your wife doesn't leave you. There is a crying wave of unemployment on Chinese social media platforms. Radio Free Asia reported that on social platforms such as Douyin, Kuaishou, and Xiaohongshu in mainland China, many users shared their experiences. Some cried about the hardships of life, some complained about workplace injustice, and some expressed helplessness and anger. This year, there are 11.7 million college graduates in China. According to many people, the actual employment rate of college students this year is about 50%, which is lower than last year. Many companies have started laying off older employees. China's top technology companies, Alibaba and Tencent, carried out large-scale layoffs in 2024. Alibaba laid off 14,369 people in the first quarter and another 6,729 in the second quarter. The total number of layoffs since the beginning of the year has exceeded 20,000. Tencent has been laying off employees since 2022 and has reduced its workforce by about 10% by 2024. Kai Shenkun, a senior financial commentator, told Radio Free Asia that China's current unemployment problem has not yet reached its worst point. I think the unemployment problem will become more and more serious. Now, on platforms such as Douyin, Kuaishou, and Xiaohongshu, many people are crying and complaining. Of course, some are trying to gain traffic, but a large number of people are genuinely reflecting the current situation. This is a basic reflection of China's unemployment situation. Kai Shenkun believes that massive unemployment not only reflects the current plight of China's labor market, but also reveals society's concern and worry about unemployment. He said that now is not the time for the government to invest money to stimulate the economy and save enterprises. Enterprises are unwilling to invest now, and there are no better investment channels. How can private enterprises talk about development? China's aviation industry faces wage arrears and disguised layoffs. Employees struggle to make a living. Recently, China Xingfu Airlines has long been in arrears of wages, with pilots relying on food delivery to make a living, attracting attention. Industry insiders revealed that the Sino-US trade war and 3 years of epidemic lockdowns have hit China's aviation industry hard, and the international route business has not improved so far. Recently, the Chinese Foreign Ministry announced the expansion of the visa-free policy, but it has not been effective. Xi'an's local aviation company Xingfu Airlines was recently exposed for having long-term arrears in wages and social security, attracting public attention. The company's pilots revealed that their wages had been in arrears for 3 years, forcing many employees to make a living by delivering food, driving for Didi, or setting up stalls. One pilot said he has been delivering food for a year and a half. An Air China employee using the pseudonym Chen Fan revealed that the Sino-US trade war and 3 years of epidemic lockdowns hit China's aviation transportation industry hard. Even after easing epidemic prevention measures, international route business has yet to improve. The losses of China's 3 major airlines, Air China, China Eastern Airlines, and China Southern Airlines, are covered by the government. The 4th largest airline, HNA, has laid off employees in disguise, forcing many to resign. Air China employee Chen Fan, pseudonym, no matter the size of the airline, all are in a loss-making state. Many airlines still cannot pay wages, but this has not been reported. Airline employees are having a very difficult time. They don't want to compensate for layoffs. Instead, they use particularly bad methods to find faults and exclude people, forcing them to leave voluntarily. Chen Fan also mentioned that the CCP spreads xenophobia and diverts attention to maintain regime stability. This year, many Japanese and Americans were attacked in China, including the unfortunate death of a 10-year-old Japanese boy in Shenzhen, which has made foreigners feel resentful. Although the Ministry of Foreign Affairs recently announced an expansion of the visa-free policy, it has not been effective. Air China employee, pseudonym, international passenger transport is basically at about 12% of its level before the trade war and the epidemic. Visa exemptions have been relaxed for many countries, but no one is willing to come. This is because the trade war began, and the international community cannot accept what happened during the epidemic. They all think it is unreasonable. The mainland is quite scary. Mr. Hua, an employee of a Chinese airline, advised young people not to choose flight attendant majors. At the end of October this year, more than 5,000 people participated in interviews at the headquarters of China Eastern Airlines, but only around 300 were recruited, resulting in an extremely low admission rate. Mr. Hua, an employee of a Chinese airline, there are more than 500 colleges and universities across the country offering flight attendant majors, including aviation services, with more than 180,000 graduates each year. The problem is that the entire civil aviation system only needs at most 10,000 people annually, and about 7,000 people at least. Civil aviation has been losing so much money. Who knows if it will collapse? In fact, all companies have tightened their manpower.
I feel like I just can't find a job. It's really, really hard. It feels like it's nearly impossible to get hired these days. Even getting an interview is tough, almost impossible. It's just really, really hard. Sometimes I wonder, is 28 really the age when I'm already being phased out? And even when I do manage to get an interview, which is rare, the companies aren't even that great. But still, even those not so great companies don't want me. Honestly, right now, I just don't know what to do. I feel so lost. I really don't know what I'm still capable of or what I can even do anymore.
This issue is really serious. It's not just about people being laid off after 35 and struggling to find jobs. Now, even young people, 26 or 27 years old, can't find work. I went to college and now I'm working for 3,000 won a month, doing 2 shifts a day, 12 hours per shift. The work is exhausting and the pay is incredibly low. And that's in Tianjin. On top of that, over 10 million college graduates are entering the job market this year. With that many people competing, I can already see my industry fading away. I work in job placement services here in Tianjin, but no one is making money. How can people even afford to buy a home? I know the government issued documents telling us not to talk down the real estate market, but let's be real. People's wallets are flat. Nobody has money in their pockets. How are they supposed to buy a home? Right now, it's not even about high or low prices anymore. It's about whether people can even afford basic necessities.
When China can no longer export, the economic war officially begins. April 15, 2025, a day that China's foreign trade history may never forget. Amid a heavy, gloomy atmosphere, as if a silent storm were brewing before a fierce tempest, the 137th China Import and Export Fair, Canton Fair, officially opened in Guangzhou. But instead of dazzling fireworks and multi-million-dollar contracts as in its glory days, there were only anxious glances, deserted booths, and thousands of containers stacked like mountains, lying dormant at ports once among the world's busiest. Once hailed as the barometer of China's commercial might, this year's fair sent chills down spines, dubbed by many as an export graveyard, a stark warning of the dying throes of China's foreign trade industry amid an escalating U.S.-China tariff war with staggering rates, 145% from the U.S. and 125% from China. At Yangshan Port, Shanghai, containers are stacked like cold steel tombs. In Shenzhen, factories sit shuttered in silence. And in Guangzhou, once a global epicenter, only lonely shadows wander through sparsely visited booths. Is China facing the irreversible collapse of an era that once made the world bow? Before diving into a detailed analysis of this seismic event, please hit like to support the channel and subscribe to stay updated on the unfolding global trade crisis. Don't take your eyes off the screen. What you're about to see could mark the end of China's reign as the world's factory. The Canton Fair, from global stage to export graveyard. The 137th China Import and Export Fair, held in Guangzhou, Guangdong, is enduring its bleakest, most tragic days in history. Once the barometer of Chinese foreign trade, the fair is now suffocating under the brutal U.S.-China tariff war. With U.S. tariffs at 145% and Chinese retaliatory tariffs at 125%, the door to the world's largest market has slammed shut, plunging businesses into despair. Many fear the fair will soon become a graveyard for exports rather than an international trade platform. The fair attracted over 30,000 enterprises, with 73,000 export booths and 1,600 import booths from 50 countries. By April 8th, around 170,000 foreign buyers had pre-registered, but only 10.5% were from Europe and North America, while 72% came from Belt and Road countries and 14.3% from the Middle East. The absence of high-value European and American buyers has left an unfillable void. Foreign trade industry, pessimism, and a bleak future. The fair reflects a foreign trade sector teetering on collapse, vanishing Euro-American markets. A Shenzhen-based company lamented, "Over the past 5 years, European and American clients have all but disappeared. The fair is now filled with domestic competitors fighting fiercely. Business cards exchanged dropped by over half, and a chilling mood has lingered since the pandemic. High costs, zero profits. Standard booths cost thousands to tens of thousands of yuan, but resold booths fetch hundreds of thousands. A Fujian-based company bitterly noted, "We're prepared to sit idle for 5 days, but must attend to maintain our spot." Desperate domestic pivot. Many firms have turned to online sales at the fair, offering dirt-cheap products to attract domestic buyers. A Xiaohongshu comment likened the fair to a domestic arena where Chinese firms strangle each other for scraps of the local market. Small businesses on the brink. A worker at a Liaoning lifting equipment factory shared, "The first day had sparse visitors. Far fewer than last year. We've lost hope." A Zhongshan lighting manufacturer spent 80,000 to 90,000 yuan on a booth but saw no European or American buyers, only a few from Ukraine, Russia, and Africa. Fragile adaptation strategies. Firms are trying to pivot to Southeast Asia or Russia, but competition demands cheap yet high-quality products. A Shenzhen executive warned, "Targeting Europe and America is futile. Russia or Southeast Asia offers slight hope, but we're selling at near zero profit."